Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How is everybody today? How you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. It is, oh boy, can you believe it's Wednesday already? Hump day, the middle of the week. The weeks are going fast, and I cannot believe that it's just about the end of May. This whole year is going by really, really fast. Good to see everybody. Yes, the hair is very long. Now you can see. You could measure the length of the pandemic by the length of the hair. It was shorter like him, and now it's we're deciding what to do. A couple of my friends who had theirs uncut during the pandemic, some of them got theirs cut, some of them are still waiting, some of them are debating. So stay tuned. You may tune in one day and it might be just a little shorter, or who knows. I get bored. I change everything. The look, I just change it all. And, you know, for what I do in television and broadcast and stage and radio and everything, we end up changing the look all the time anyway, because we have to for various productions and projects and film shoots, TV shoots, and so much more. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. How are you guys today? This is the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation with light, love, and levity, or as we've coined here about 6, 7, 8 months ago, levity. That's right. The show's all about levity. We toast all of you. Good to see you and you and you and you, and we welcome you to our show. And I hope your day's going well. I always try to do this gingerly without taking too much of a sip so it doesn't spill and spray all over and I don't drop this. And it's just pink lemonade. I know it looks very expensive and fancy schmancy, right? And you have a sip and you're like, oh, just some pink lemonade. Nice and refreshing as we get ready to soon enter into the summer here. We're in the greater New York area in the United States of America, between New York and Boston along the southern New England coast. We've got an extraordinary guest who's joining us. Yes, famed choreographer and performer and producer Luis Salgado is here live and direct from New York City. We're excited to have him here. We have lots to chat about and some really cool projects that he's working on as well. Jen is here from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Good to see you, Jen. Maureen is here from Arizona. Mary is here from Florida. These are the Lovities. Again, they call me Mr. Levity. They call this Levity Hall, and they call themselves part of our Levity Squad. Christine is here. Good to see you in North Carolina. And Maureen, we love having you here as well. Sending you some Levity. And Kathy Short is here from Cleveland, Ohio. Good to see you, Kathy. Merlin is here from Ontario, Canada. We love it. Yes, yes, yes. And in addition to Merlin being here, let's just see if we can get a few more in here. These move so rapidly for us. Luis Salgado himself is here, and he says, "Hola, Lovities." There you go. Hola, Lovities. And everybody's saying hello to him as well. So good to see you. Welcome to the show, gang. Jennifer in Allentown, Pennsylvania says welcome. And Wozniak, same thing in Florida. Good stuff. Everybody welcoming him and welcoming us and welcoming each other, which we love to do. Anne is in Jacksonville, Florida. Claudia is here as well. Cool stuff. Love it. Nice to see all of you here. And of course, our fantastic friend, June Rachelson Aspa, is here as well from Maryland. Good to see you, June. Yes, he is an extraordinary choreographer and one of the young Latinos on Broadway who has dedicated his entire life to both dance and social work. And we're going to talk a lot about that here on the show today when we welcome him to the show. just hope you guys are doing well. And it's a pleasure to have you here and to celebrate you as we do all the time on the Jim Masters Show live. It's always a great opportunity when we get a chance to have you guys tuned in and celebrating. And there he is doing his thing. Everybody loves him. He's very, very talented. Broadway World had quoted that too, that he's one of the young Latinos on Broadway who has dedicated his entire life to both dance and social work. He's a true leader who really loves people and lives full of passion, fire, and a commitment to going beyond with a unique style and influence of Latin rhythms. He was born in Puerto Rico and then came to to New York, to the United States of America. And his heritage makes Luis a standout among dancers. His ability to dive right in makes him an artist and a visionary who makes things possible at times against all odds, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. In the past 3 years, his work is focused on as a director and producer with his company, Salgado Productions, which is committed to making art with a purpose. He's committed to storytelling, and that has led him to conceive and direct productions that tell original stories of Latin America. Some of his recent directing work include RL's 2011 Choreographer Festival and many, many others. We'll talk about them, just to name a few of them. He's invested in Broadway productions such as Peter and the Starcatcher, Godspell, and so much more. He is very versatile as a performer whose career has molded him into an internationally established director, choreographer, and a teacher that brings a unique passion as well to the classroom. And he's worked on some major, major productions over the years. My pleasure to welcome him live and direct from New York, Luis Salgado. Luis, welcome to the show.
Hola. Oh my
Hola.
God. So excited to be here. What a wonderful introduction and what a wonderful, company you have here of humans and lovities. I love that new word I just learned.
Isn't that something? I tell you, in the summertime, I was saying light, love, and levity, that the show has that sort of feeling. And then within seconds, all of a sudden it slipped out of my mouth and I said levity. And I kept saying for many, many weeks after that it must have been a mistake that I said levity. And then everybody says, no, Jim, it wasn't a mistake. It was meant to be. It's the essence of the show. Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was not a Freudian slip. It was something that was here that just came up and out.
Well, and just the way you start the show, it makes that feeling of levity, right? Like I want to kind of welcome everybody with you, because the way that you're setting the tone of friendship and love and the atmosphere, if I may just quickly, really June is here. And as you were saying, it's thanks to her that I get the pleasure of meeting you. My dear friend, Carol Bryan, and I know there's a birthday.
There's Carol there. Yeah, Carol's on the screen.
Claudia, happy birthday to Claudia. So it just gives that welcoming, levity energy. So
absolutely, absolutely. And how have you been? Obviously it's been a crazy year and we've been dealing with a lot of crazy things in the last 12 months or so, but how have you been dealing with everything? Obviously a lot of things have been closed and now it's starting to come back, which is a great, great positive sign. Mm-hmm. How have you been, Luis?
Well, it's kind of a mixed answer. There's no absolute, and I learned that this year a lot. Yeah. There's just no absolute. So I've been good, I've been bad. I can tell you about right now. Right now, since you and I started talking, there has been thunder coming into or through my window. I get to see. Yeah. So
that's a big. Thank God it's not coming through or into, just over.
Yeah. You know what I mean. It's I can see it through my window, and it's exciting. It's exciting. I think that it's a time of change. Yes. I think that the last year and change have definitely forced all of us to consider what is essential in life. Yes. The COVID started and we all lost so much. I lost so much work. But thank God we haven't lost. I lost friends and I lost people that I know. But yeah. I knock on wood that thank God I have not lost a family member to COVID and so that's a big win. That's a big win there. I'm very grateful of that. I think there's a paradox in the reality of this year, because as much as it's been painful to see what's going on in the world, it's also been a blessing to be able to travel to Puerto Rico and be with my family, be near my mom, near my dad, my uncle, my aunt. It's
Yeah.
been a blessing. And my son has had a year of being able to connect with our roots, with the Puerto
Yeah.
Rican roots, with our language. And that's a blessing too. So it's a little bit of a big paradox, big dichotomy reality.
And you got your hair cut too.
And I had to.
I didn't yet.
Unlike you're like, I'm going to let it grow and I'm going to live with it and it's good. I was like, this is taking a lot of time and effort. I want to
Doesn't it?
simplify. Yeah. I want to
It
simplify
does.
the amount of work I have to do in the morning or before a meeting. And we're in Zoom all day and my hair was like,
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm cutting it.
It becomes a real, you start yelling at it like it's a person.
Totally.
You're like telling it off when it wants to
And
go
then all
in
the
the face.
products, right? Because you're like, if you have the right curls product, you put that in and you feel good. And then all of a sudden you're like, this is growing. I need like a little thicker gel. And then you're like, the gel dried up and you're like, I'm done with this. And then I just want to have like nothing on the hair. My hair's pretty moody. He's pretty moody. He likes to rebel against me every now and then.
Your hair sometimes fights, right? Yeah. You have cowlicks too. Sometimes those can create problems. They just want it. The hair wants to go here, there, and different directions.
But your hair looks amazing right now.
It's working. Yeah. It's just like, again, it's usually shorter like him, but I change it a lot too. This has just been an experiment. I mean, it's the longest they've ever done it this long, a whole year plus without cutting it at all. Even the salon had called and they said, Jim, don't you still love us? You're going to come visit? I said, sure. I just want to, it became a challenge. So now we're like, now what do we do? How do we, do we keep it and do something different with it? Or it's very funny because you can watch this show and like today it'll be like this long and full and you see it. And then tomorrow it's gone. It's like pulled back or you have a different hat on or just pull it back like you probably were doing and you tie it up in the back.
I love that look.
And the people, this here.
Yeah.
Just like yes. Yeah. That's, and that, that hurts sometimes when you're doing it, when you're pulling it, you're like, ow. And then you have to take the thing out and it's like, ow, you're pulling your hair. And you're like, wow, how do people who do that normally for, majority of their life, do that?
It was funny because when I was doing the musical On Your Feet, at the end of the show, my hair, even I could play a character that I needed to have a ponytail, slick back ponytail. And then in Act 2, I would like let it all wild and crazy. And by the end of the show, sometimes the hair was like all over my face. So my friend, one of our partners in crime there in the show, Hector, my sonette, he would be like, Luis, are you ready? And like he would do a man bun before I went out to say hello to the audience. And that was kind of the coolest moment of the show because I just got to like finish the show, sit in the chair, and Hector would like pull back the entire hair, do the man bun.
And then every once in a while, when you have it pulled back like that, pieces start to come out. You know how they start to straggle out, and you're like, where did that piece come from? I thought
no. Mine was it was locked in with iron. That coming out to
and all
I mean, it wasn't even the spray, but I had so much product from the entire show that it was a matter of like, look, all the way until I got home and I could shower and take it all off.
Yeah, that's funny. There's your hair tips from Jim and Luis. Your men's grooming tips, and for the ladies too that have the long hair. So you've been doing well and quite busy too, huh?
Well, how do you stay busy in the pandemic? And also, why do we stay so busy in the pandemic? I think the thing happened, and immediately I was like, we got to serve. The first thing in my mind was, listen, I came from having just opened a show called Matilda, the musical, which we probably know. And I had not only an amazing cast, but I had in the cast about 20 kids. So I felt responsible that those kids felt like we couldn't make the dream come true, So I started thinking immediately about the mental health that this thing was going to have, whether it was 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. And so we put my nonprofit organization, Revolución Latina, into service and action right away, like we almost often do. And we encounter a community of artists that really needed the work. So we started providing yoga, health meditation, doing jazz class, ballet class, lyrical class, Latin class. So we provided, I don't know, I know we employed over like 54 people in the span of 2 weeks at the beginning of the pandemic, and touched hundreds of lives through the program. So that was the first thing that I started doing. Then I started figuring out, okay, wait, this is happening for real. How am I going to survive? Because there's no work. And I had my adopted Colombian daughter here, my son, my wife, and myself. So that was $400 almost a week, leaving home and doing 3 meals a day in the house. And it was like, whoa, this is pretty intense. So that was step one. And then we decided to travel to Puerto Rico and kind of hide there from the madness of COVID New York. And in that, I was lucky to have the ocean, the island, my family, and work started coming. And thanks to angels like Sergio Trujillo, who would put me in touch with projects here and there, I started doing some of the projects. One of them was Disenchanted, the musical. We did a virtual online project of that. I got another show that I consulted for a little bit about the life of Che Guevara. And so I was able to stay, quote unquote, busy. But then you ask yourself, like, why am I busy all the time in the middle of a pandemic when I should just really take the time to be with my family? This, again, another paradox of this time. Are you there?
Yeah, we're trying to do like 15 things at once sometimes during the show here.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, we've all had to make do, haven't we?
We have. How about you?
This show is a result of it all. The show, I'm so busy normally that to find time to create a show like this, where we've done 410 episodes live 7 days a week in just 1 year's time, with sometimes doing 2 shows a day. Like this past weekend, we did an afternoon show and then a night show. We did an afternoon show because the guests were overseas. So we want, like, Ireland, England, Scotland. So we wanted to accommodate, their times, because when we started 7 in Ireland and what have you, it's midnight. So it's kind of late for them to start, especially if they're going to be singing or playing guitar or whatever they might be doing. And for their family and friends and what have you to be watching, it's kind of late. Even though we record this and it gets archived in our YouTube channel, you can see it later. People like, which I love, like I know you do, working in theater and all, there's nothing that beats live.
Nothing, yeah.
Because you could easily, pre-record all of these shows, and some people do that. They record stuff, throughout the day, and then they just upload it and just toss it on YouTube or whatever they do. But having worked in television and radio for so long in stage work and loving live and the interaction and the energy of live, I love to do it live. So we have done, it's been unbelievable, because to do these shows, it requires a good part of my day because of producing it as well as hosting it.
Right.
And then I still work full time in television and radio. In the day, I'm on the air and everything else. So it gets a little crazy sometimes, as you would know how it could be, where you're like, uh-oh. But I love it. And it's just, people for years asked me to do a show like this, an entertainment lifestyle talk show series. So, back in like March, April, May, 1 year anniversary was 2 weeks ago. I brought in the television lights. We built the home studio, and I just started talking to the camera. I didn't even bring in guests. I just started talking. Hi, I'm Jim Masters. This is what I do. I've worked in the industry. Let's have some fun. And, I did a whole bunch of different things. People started following and watching, and then it started building from there. And then I started inviting people that I've interviewed on television or radio over the years first, people that I knew, people that were friends that are different industries. And then friends of mine started saying, oh, you should have this one on and this one. And then and now we're almost booked all the way into the end of July, 7 days a week with guests. Wow. That's the kind of thing. It's blossomed into, it's an old school approach where it's like a talk show from the past, like Dick Cavett or Johnny Carson or some of the original warm, conversational, freestyle approach, nothing, too crazy. and we change it up every day, something different, a lot of variety. And, but yet with a modern vibe and a modern twist of today, and the whole levity feeling too. I think people literally have been craving that for a long time.
Totally.
Merlin, thank you very much. Jim and his guests and the levities have helped me keep sane. See, I've heard from a lot of the viewers, levities, who've written to me personally, privately, and have said that the show has helped them. Even some of the guests, when I was interviewing some of the guests, Broadway performers and others, and guests from a wealth of different, areas of life, because we have everything on the show and everyone. Many of them have said even coming on this show and having a place to open and emote and share and chat has made them feel good, because some were, really in the thick of it, the summertime, early fall, really feeling down that they weren't on stages, couldn't go to the restaurants, they couldn't do anything. And so coming here and just freestyle conversing really just gave them a boost to say, you know what, I forgot I used to do that. I think after the show, Jim, I'm going to go out and start doing that again. So It's provided some sense of positivity, which I love to do, like you do. I know you're very big on it. Everything you do, you want to inspire and empower others. I'm very big about that in all of my work, professionally and even off the air. I've always been about that, lifting others up.
Well, talking about that, I've been trying to say, because you started talking about the value of life, and so Jen is wanting to see us or me at this time with the long hair. So I pull up this for Jen. That was my big
Jen in Allentown.
Yeah, that was my big melena right there. I was trying to get another picture, but that's the first one I found. Just the hair, the long. Oh, here's a crazy one, Jen. That's how long it got at times. So
it does look good.
Thank you.
Is it naturally curly?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you really don't have to do anything. People pay a fortune just to get the curly in it. and you have it already.
Yeah, my mom is the one that fights now. It's like, don't cut it, let it grow.
Yes, yeah. See, I have two sides of that fence too. I have the crowd who's used to having me, they're used to seeing it shorter on me, and a lot of different styles. I get bored. And again, working in these industries, we have to change our look and our style and, completely sometimes for the project, for the production, whatever it is. I have this group that's like, I want it short. And this group that says, no, I actually love it like this. Oh, cool. I love it. Like my sister loves it longer. My mother would prefer it shorter. So it's like, okay, let's see. I'll look in the mirror and see what I want.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Right. Now here's a cool shot.
That was long ago. Oh my God, I was a baby there.
Rico Suave.
Rico Suave. Yeah.
That's a good shot. Was that just a headshot, or was that for a project that's specific?
That was taken by U.S. Montana, and he is a photographer that here in New York. Sometimes when I do dance shoots, he takes, and he's kind of wild. That's actually kind of one of the simple ones. He did the photo shoot for me and my wife when we were having our baby, and he did radical makeup and crazy hairs. It's a really cool guy.
Yeah. Mary says, looks good, long or short for you. And Merlin prefers shorter hair on people. And Jen says, you look great with long or short hair. Thanks for sharing with me. Jen has a full head. She has a mane. She's got a full head of hair. Absolutely.
Little did I know that we were going to spend 20 minutes talking about our hair.
Isn't that amazing? I tell you. It's just the beginning. Let's talk about your youth in Puerto Rico and some of those inspirations that, brought you into the arts and turned you on to music and theatrical performances and choreography and everything that you do so well, Luis.
Thank you. Well, Puerto Rico is everything to me. It's funny because yesterday I had the honor and privilege of seeing the In the Heights film in a private screening with the original Broadway cast of the show. That In the Heights was my first Broadway musical that I got to officially do, both as a performer and as a creative. And the story is that I was able to put so much of who I am and so much of what I learned back in the island in that show, that there's a sense of pride and belonging and love and passion that comes with that particular title. And it's funny you asked how my beginnings in Puerto Rico, because my connection yesterday to the film reminded me of so much of my journey since I was 9 years old, getting started in the arts with, a public school teacher who believed in me and gave me the tools to grow. And then when he felt like it was time to let me fly, he personally took me into new spaces for me to continue to learn. And Puerto Rico is everything. It's my root. It's my heart. It's my reality. There's my mom. Ahí está mi mamá. In Spanish, I gotta say it. My mom just joined us. She's putting her heart here. It's NY Press, the way that she has her names. Mami, estoy diciendo que me encanta de donde vengo, que soy de Puerto Rico y que gracias a Puerto Rico soy lo que soy y lo uso donde quiera que estoy. Así que aprovecho para agradecerte. Sorry, I just had to say that in Spanish for my mom because I want to make sure she knows I'm so grateful of, the life and the experience of culture I got in the island.
Very nice. Very nice. Welcome to your mom as well. It's nice to see her here. We welcome her and everybody that's watching. So, musical family of performers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Not at all. My sister just joined too.
Is that
Liliana Yola just joined too.
She likes your hair cut.
But because her husband is the barber that I get it cut with in Puerto Rico.
It's all about, see, it's coming back to the hair again. They're doing it.
It's the hair show.
I told you, it's the moms and the sisters that are doing it.
Jesus.
Yours and mine.
Yeah, totally. But no, it's not a family of artists. My mom loves singing. Mi mamá le gustaba cantar. And my dad did some acting. And mi papá le gustaba actuar. But in reality, they didn't pursue an artist career necessarily. So when I grew up, I'm my sister. She's laughing there, mi hermanita. I got to tell you a story later, Jim, about her performing Gloria Trevi in her college, in her colegio, in elementary school. And oh my God, my mom and I try to get her to go and to get her ready. And the song was like, a mí me gusta andar de pelo suelto, talking about hair again. I like to go with my hair crazy. And then my sister and my mom and I were like, gotta. And when the talent show came in, my sister was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And my mom and I was like, Charlie! We couldn't move our neck for an entire week.
So does your mother like it longer and your sister shorter on you?
Yeah, they can fight over that.
So mine's the reverse. Yeah, mother likes it shorter, sister likes it longer. So
yeah,
to each his own. Whatever makes you feel good, right? It is a bear, doing it this long. They're commenting. It's cool to see them back and forth here.
I love it. They're saying, no, don't say it. Don't tell the story.
Don't tell that story. Too late.
That's my highlight for tonight.
So when did you come to the States and when did you come to the Big Apple and start to make your mark, Lewis?
Oh my God, the Big Apple. That reminded me of Evita. I came into the Big Apple when I was 21 years old. And I had a dance school in Puerto Rico for about 4 or 5 years. I took the school from 8 students to 300 students. And then I realized, oh my God, I have so much more to learn. I have so much more to do. So I started traveling to New York to go to places like Broadway Dance Center and Steps on Broadway and take classes. And I fell in love. I fell in love with the city, fell in love with watching musicals, and decided to move in. And that was a time where I said, Mom, I think I got to go to New York. And she said, go. After many years of I want you to do something else, find a real job, whatever. That time when I said I'm moving to New York, she said, go, you got to do it. And I don't regret it one single second.
That's fantastic. So what brought you to New York? Was there a specific opportunity or a project, or did you just want to go and sort of figure out what the plan was going to be, make the connections, and start to share your talent?
Yeah, I've always been. I'm always a student, and I hope that until the day I die, I'll be a student. I get the opportunity to put up shows and tell stories and get certain people. I'm now writing a column to backstage in the expert section, and it's funny to me that someone will consider me an expert, and I'm grateful. But in reality, I'll be a student forever. So like I said, I had my dance school. And I realized that there was a lot for me to learn. I was providing a lot of information, and I had a background in folklore and in Latin rhythms, and some background in jazz that needed to continue to be developed. But I needed to go deeper in my ballet. I needed to do more contemporary. I wanted to explore my commercial hip hop and funk, And so I came to New York to get that training, and I never went back.
What was one of the first opportunities that developed in New York for you?
Well, funny enough, Evita, the musical, was one of the first musicals that I got to be a part of at the Helen Hayes Theater in the regional theater space. Unfortunately, that theater no longer exists. And then I got opportunities to start traveling. I went to Japan. I went to Germany. I started meeting other parts of the world. And that's when I realized that New York is like a trampoline. It's a trampoline. You get to jump from here to many other parts of the world and get to learn so much of other culture, other realities, other styles of theater making. And so more and more every single day, I just fell more in love with the opportunity that New York City is. And it's been like that still to today. Before the pandemic, I did 7 shows in about 4 months, which is crazy, like creating them. Shows for Telemundo, I did Aida, I did Fame, the musical in Washington, D.C. I did a Cirque du Soleil show. I did, it was like a lot of production in 4 months. And you ask yourself at some point, like, is this real? Is this happening to me? Like, am I really like being able to put up 7 productions in 4 months? Wow. But yet there's still so much to learn, right? And
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, ever since you arrived, it's just been a good, smooth run, huh?
Well, not always smooth. There are challenges, and funny enough, think that here's New York, the sound of New York. I don't know if you're
The
here.
sound of New York, absolutely.
Yeah. But funny enough, I feel like the times is maybe one of the hardest time is now. Now, this moment in time, because of the pandemic, because of losing the work in your hands, because of spending your money to survive,
Just to survive,
because you don't know how we're going to come back and when we're going to come back. They're saying New York is Broadway is coming back in September, and the shows have announced. But this is a trial and error. We can only pray that the moment the shows open, everything will go well, and people are taking all the safety measures so that the percentage continues as low as it is now. And that's the prayer, that's the hope, and that's what we want. But it's not guaranteed, because guess what? A pandemic is one every 100 years, and we just don't know how to treat it.
No,
and
it's all new.
So I think I've had hard times, but this is without a doubt one of the hardest times in my career. Plus, you add into that the entire equation of the social structure and how it influences theater making, right? The Black Lives Matter movement and what it represents, and how we all need to do better in our theater making and in our presence and in the representation. The overall diversity conversation within the Latina community and many other communities. The anger and unfortunate hatred that exists in our world today, and how that influences not only what stories we choose to tell and how we tell them, but also the audience relationships to those stories and among themselves. It's a really interesting time. And like you said at the beginning, I have a company called Salgado Productions, which is all about making art with a purpose, and So I take into considerations all of these truths when choosing the work I am bound to do.
Yes, right, exactly. Let's talk about the production company. That's a beautiful thing that's come out of your experience and your passion. That's a wonderful thing, and congratulations on that.
Thank you, thank you. I'm saying thank you to Jan Barry here. She's asking a great question if I would ever write a book. Funny enough, I'm in the middle of that, and I wonder, Jan, if you can tell us why do you ask me that?
Because
But
the next thing she's going to ask you is where your Zen place is, the ocean or the mountains. She asks every guest that.
oh
Mine is
yeah,
the ocean. Mine is the ocean. Growing up, here on the coast, the ocean is where swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing. I love the ocean. Now, you grew up in Puerto Rico, surrounded by it. I wonder, is the ocean a Zen place for you, or do you crave the mountains? She's in Allentown, Pennsylvania area where it's all mountainous, and she loves the
yeah.
mountains, which are beautiful too.
I miss the mountains. For me, it's both. It's both. It really is both. If I tell you that it's one, I would be lying. I just spent the entire year of the pandemic in front of the ocean. I'm looking for a picture or video to show you. It was a fantastic space that I will be so grateful to my family for letting me stay at that beautiful house. But I love the ocean, and it gives me a lot of peace. And I think 50% of my heart gets rejuvenated with it. But I
Yeah.
also love the river and the mountain and the rain in the mountain and the smell that the grass gives us, And so I'm kind of a 50-50. I like, I have a strong feminine side. And so, and I also have a very passionate male side. So I think I need the power of the sun and the peace of the moon. And that's the thing with the ocean and the river. I need the windmill of the ocean, and I need the nice flowing water that the river becomes. I really do need both equally.
You know what I love about the ocean is that it's larger than me. And then it's been around a lot longer than I have and will be here well after I'm here. And it has a
Yep.
constant rhythm and a constant flow and a constant movement. And it provides great enjoyment as long as you respect it. Take advantage
Totally.
of it, and you're going to be in a riptide in 2 seconds. So I have this relationship with the ocean. I mean, I've actually been in the ocean with people where I'm like, I wouldn't advise you doing that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, because the ocean is in charge, not me. I hand over control.
These were my mornings in Puerto Rico.
Do you miss it?
Oh my God, yeah.
How often do you get to go back? Have you been back since the pandemic? Have you been able to go back during?
My family still is there. They come tomorrow. But this was my meditation in the morning. I would just walk to I was in front of the beach, so I just walked to the water, and I would start moving and let my body wake up.
That's what it's about. Yes. You ever
So
practice Qigong?
I haven't. I
Yeah, I
haven't.
have. I have. I was taught it actually by Lee Holden. We were doing a PBS special, and he came into the studio, and I'd always heard of it, but never really gotten involved in it. And it's fantastic. And doing it by the water, scenes like that, oh, it just
Yeah.
it literally takes your breath away. So, have you been able to go to Puerto Rico during the pandemic, or no?
So
They're coming up to see you.
that's what I said to you just now. That
That was recently.
I spent 10 months there. I just got back 2 months ago to New York.
Oh,
Yeah,
you just got back.
my
Ah.
family still is there. They're returning tomorrow.
Very good.
From
I haven't seen family yet, relatives and all. We're going to Florida soon, so we can't wait.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. No, and again, my story of the pandemic being, a blessing and a curse, because the blessing was that I had my family nearby because I was in Puerto
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. Something recently that you've been doing, the Composers Project. Tell us about that. That's exciting.
Yeah, I love it. The Composers Project is actually the sad part of the Composers Project is that because we're in the pandemic, I don't have the money to do what I want. So if anybody's watching and wants to support 8 composers coming together to tell one story, Salgado Productions welcomes you as a patron. So I'm going to take that moment to say it because it's a lovely project. I put together 8 wonderful composers from all around the world, Colombian, Peruvians, Americans, you name it. And they all had a task to express the pain and the joy and the reflection that they were having through the COVID-19 period. And then I would do what in Puerto Rico we call a pie forzado, which is when you're forced into making a rhyme. In my case, I was forced into making a story. And so I have a wonderful team, Heather Hogan, who is here watching, one of the members. I have Marina from Brazil and Juan Pablo from Peru as a co-creative team. And the idea is that we will put this together as a one unit. But the dreams became so big that then I needed money. It wasn't just like, oh, let's all do it. I was doing a lot of projects just asking people favors. But, when this project came about, the music is so good. Yeah. That I was like, oh no, we need funds for this. So we're in the process of trying to apply for grants and try to find some budget so that we can get both into a studio and get the team we need in order to record outdoors, because it's almost like a prayer. It's almost like a 50-minute prayer where all this music, very Zen-like, will take you through an experience of humanity and questions, So I'm really excited about what it is and what it can turn out to be. But it's one of those projects that I'm a little bit like this, because no matter how creative you are, you do need some money to put into making it happen.
Absolutely. Well, we have a little video here, teaser, that we can show everybody that talks a little bit about it, and then we'll come back and chat some more. Here it is.
Right into the bank. Every sunrise makes sense to take a stand. Don't expect to ask for permission in advance. If you don't speak up, it will be absurd. Sometimes you gotta shout, your voice is heard. To everything that's possible, knowing the wrongs that isn't crossable. Take on the climb, it'll never bust us. We watch from the fight full of peace and justice. Peace and justice.
Very nice. Very nice. That is cool.
Excited that you share that video. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
That's one of the projects we've been able to put together with the music, and it's thrilling. You just gave me like a nice push of like, I got to get this out there. I got to get this out there.
That's what happens on this show all the time. It's called Lovity.
Lovity.
That's what it is. So you see it and you're like, oh yeah, wow. Now I want to, dive in again as well.
The Lovities, what they think of that video and what kind of energy and feelings they just got.
They're all saying great and awesome and terrific and awesome and very cool and inspirational and awesome. And yeah,
it's
great
Clay,
artists, voices, musicians.
Clay, who composed that with James Roshan, Clay has been the music director to the Miami Sound Machine, and he's one of the composers I have in this project. Can you believe that? Back to sometimes when you like touch your skin and you're like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
I love that man. We met during the musical On Your Feet and we become friends, and he's now part of my team. I'm trying to pitch him to some of the musicals that I'm directing, and it's like that. It's about making community and walking together this path, that we have of making dreams come true.
Absolutely, my friend. It sure is. We've got another video here. We're going to show it, and then we'll talk about it when we come back. Take a look at this.
Right.
Functional Training Corp. Hola, soy Salgado. Estamos aquí en Functional Training Corp desde Lima, Perú. Y te estoy diciendo algo. Acabo de decirle a mi maestra, tengo que salir de aquí, grabarlo y hablar de ustedes porque en realidad mi cuerpo de bailarín está sufriendo. O sea,
vamos, dale, aprieta ese abdomen arriba.
Con tu propio peso, la concentración y balance de tu cuerpo. Esto se puede hacer también desde la casa, o sea que hay músculos es como si no lo hubiese hablado un día o años tal vez, o sea, estoy descubriendo partes de mí.
Vamos, vamos, juega con tu cuerpo, juega, despierta a ese niño.
Y acabo de decir la palabra clave, juego. Bailando jazz, ballet, hip hop, salsa, todos estos músculos que hago aquí con cosas que son solamente usando el peso de mi cuerpo, no los había sentido hacía años o tal vez nunca.
Ahora nos pasamos al ejercicio número 3, es un ejercicio para fortalecer la espalda baja. Estamos trabajando los glúteos, estamos trabajando los isquiotibiales, que es la parte trasera de las piernas. Ahí, muy bien, Luis, aprieta ese glúteo. Eso.
Y de verdad que espero que en un mes ponerme en forma con Functional Training Corp, así que yo los invito a que vengan y lo descubran un ratito.
Mira lo que pusimos, ¿ah? Atrévete.
Atrévete a más. ¿Cuánto tiempo tu nombre y cuánto tiempo llevas trabajando aquí?
Bueno, mi nombre es Ángela Andrade Pinto, yo soy entrenadora hace 8 años. Vengo trabajando acá desde enero con los chicos, hace 6 meses. Todo lo que es Functional Training Corporation es todo lo que es un entrenamiento funcional. Lo que hacemos el día a día, que es mover el cuerpo de distintas formas, el agacharse, el levantarse, el pararse, el poner algo, el subir, el bajar, eso es entrenamiento funcional. Llevado a cabo en este gimnasio con todo lo que ves alrededor, pelotas, ligas, mancuernas, tenemos en la pizarra todo lo que es la rutina de entrenamiento durante la semana que hacemos con los alumnos. Entonces la idea del entrenamiento funcional es un entrenamiento variado, divertido, dinámico, donde mueves el cuerpo de distintas formas, haciendo miles de movimientos y trabajando el cuerpo pues de pies a cabeza, a diferencia de los gimnasios funcionales. Y como podrás haber visto, los resultados están ahí se ve el sudor, ese polo mojado, ese sentir rico de entrenamiento duro. Eso lo tenemos acá en Functional Training Corporation.
¿Cómo llegan aquí? ¿Cómo se contactan con ustedes?
Pueden buscarnos por Facebook, Functional Training Corporation, o a la gente que vive acá en Lima, Perú, buscarnos en el estadio José Galo Chipoco, que es Barranco. Nos encuentran ahí de lunes a sábado desde las 6 de la mañana a 10 de la noche.
Yo sigo con ustedes por aquí por todo el mes, porque estamos, mira, atrévete a más.
You know, that makes me want to do what I wanted to do for the longest time, be a bilingual television and radio host. I took Spanish along with all of my other courses back in college, and I don't remember so much of it, but now I'm going to have you teach me as we go along.
Well, it's funny because this video is from a long time ago, and I was in Peru, and Veronica Navarro was actually here in the audience today. Veronica Navarro and Lucia Navarro, they were really great producers, and they always took care of me, always. So, you know, they're the type of producers that I was directing, choreographing, I wrote the show. So they were like, you need a break. Let's go. We're going to take you. If you want to keep working, you got to work from the beach. And they will take me to the beach and let me literally in the sand and say, here's your computer, do it from here. Make sure you jump in the water. And so the other thing that I will forever be grateful was that they got me places to go and train, so that I get really into the projects. When I get into a project, that's why sometimes for me it's hard to say yes to things, because if I'm in it, I'm in it. You know, it's gonna take my days and my nights and my nightmares and my dreams. And so this producer saw that in me, and so they were like, you need your decompress. So they would take me to places like this functional fitness training or the boxing training that I love, or even to take Reiki, you know, so that I would just have an hour of like getting the energy balance. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I learned it from them in Peru. I learned it from them. So now when I'm in a project, I take a little bit more care of myself.
That's very important, right? It's all part of it. You have to have the balance in life. You have to have the opportunity to breathe and drink water and exercise and just chill and relax too. Yes, absolutely. Toast. Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go. You have to be able to do that because otherwise you pull your hair out.
Yeah. Well, and when you're younger, you don't care pulling your hair out. But with time, you realize, again, to do 7 productions, I can pull my hair out in every production. It has to be different. You need a different balance. You need to center yourself, and so I guess that's what we call maturity at the end, right?
That's what it is. Absolutely. We have another video here, and maybe what we can do is we can show it.
Surprise me with these videos.
Yeah. This one, there's music to it, but we can't air the music because it's copyrighted. We tested it and it flagged an infringement claim within 2.5 seconds of testing it on YouTube. So we might be able to play it without the music, and maybe you can walk us through what we're seeing. It's actually the Salgado Productions 2021 reel, which gives people a good sense of.
Well, funny enough, because I think that music I believe it might be original music for us.
Yeah, copyright immediately.
Wow.
So you could tell us what we're seeing here, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, well, this is a lot of different shows. Like in the 5 seconds we saw, there's Matilda, there's Fame, there's Aida. There was I don't know, there was one more that I don't remember. This is right now from Cecilia Bracamonte's 50-year anniversary. This is from Telemundo. It's a lot of the projects that we do in Salgado Productions, and we again get the opportunity to collaborate with so many wonderful people. These are the kids I was talking about. That's in Germany, as I was doing Cirque du Soleil, and I was doing pre-production for Telemundo with my Cirque du Soleil cast. This is from Fame. Here's the thing I really celebrate. You look at this video, you see already so much diversity.
Yes.
And I think there is a conversation, and people are trying to check boxes talking about diversity these days, but they're not being about diversity. And I'm really, really proud that here's the work. The work speaks for itself. We're building and bringing communities together, people that speak Spanish, that speak English, that speak French, that speak, and putting them to tell one story together without putting so much labels on the color of their skin or where they come from, and I'm really proud of that in the work that we're doing with Salgado Productions and also with Revolución Latina. Look at this. That was a little bit of rack time.
Yeah.
Partnering with producers that I have always find a great collaboration in the company that we bring. When you hire Luis Salgado, you don't only hire me, you hire my vision and my team. And in that comes people like Valeria Kosu, Heather Hogan, Ray Mercer, so I'm really excited about you showing these videos because it really gives me an opportunity to see the work we're doing as an audience member. And,
yes.
And that is lovely. So I really grateful that you're sharing this with our audience today.
The pleasure is all mine, Luis. We have some fabulous photos as well, some really cool ones. Take us through, and maybe you can tell us about the scenario and the place and time. Here's a nice one.
Oh my God, this is there's a convention that happens every year, and Revolución Latina, which is my nonprofit organization now for 14 years, it takes part of it every year's Broadway Con. And as you see here, my job often is to celebrate that there are Latinos representing on Broadway. If I go, from right to left, Andy Señor, who was the associate director for On Your Feet on Broadway, and is now actually today I saw that HBO Latino is going to showcase his film about his experience of making Rent in Cuba. And that's an incredible story there alone, right? Javier Gomez, following him, is a great PR relationship man, but also a great actor. Also, he's a translator. I had the honor of directing him in Speed the Plow, a David Mamet play, which is very complex, and he did full translations to Spanish. And right next to him in red is the incredible Doreen Montalvo, who sadly during this year of COVID, we lost her. And she did so much musical theater in New York City. She was one of the first people to say yes to my nonprofit organization at everything. As a teacher, as a singer, we recorded an album, and she was there singing a wonderful song called "Do It Anyway." And then if I skip, I'm on the left, and it's right next to me in the gray. That is Alexander de Linares, who won an Oscar for The Birdman, the film, and he also did the adaptation of, or basically wrote the script of On Your Feet, and he has a lot of projects coming on board. So, just in that, I can tell you see the amount of caliber that our Latino community has in all the fields. And so I'm very proud of our people, and I'm very proud to be able to be an advocate and a voice for who we are as Latinos in this world. And I still don't understand why people will see us as less than at any given point. But unfortunately, that happens. And I here stand strong still with my work and my artistry and my humanity in favor of all the people that, like me, brown collar people that have all the chops and all the tools to do equal, great, excellent work in every area of the world.
That's right. That's right. We say that often on this show, that everybody's welcome to the party, welcome to the table. We all have something to say. We all have something to give and to share. And that's very, very important.
That is levity.
That's levity, right? Exactly. I've never been an extreme person in any direction. I've always been right in the middle. I'm a Libra. So we're balance and harmony. We bring the unifiers. We tend
and I think with what I'm saying, I'm not being
bring it together.
Either. Like it's not me who's not leveling it. It's other areas of the world. And I say this because, when I was coming into my first Broadway experience, was supposed to be the Mambo Kings. The show got titled like, "Oh, that show is full of Latinos. That's not going to make it to Broadway." And that was the very first time I experienced racism. And I was like, "What do they mean? We're just the same." And so part of my mission in life has been to prove that point. That we're human beings, that we all sit down and poop. Sorry for the reference, but no one is less, no one is more. We're all humans. And in our humanity, we have different areas of our cultures and realities that we get to elevate and celebrate. And that is the truth that I love to empower people with. No matter where you are in the world, no matter where you come from, no matter your sexual preference, your religious preference, we're humans, people.
That's what I say on the show. I say the same thing, what you're saying. I say, even with this show, regardless of your zip code, income level, it doesn't matter your height, weight, gender, religious views, political views, everybody is welcome, as they should be. Not everybody on the planet thinks that way, but at least we do.
Hey, we all bleed, says Mary. That if I think of Shakespeare, right? The Merchant of Venice, if you prick us, do we not bleed?
We all bleed red. And we all bleed red.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Maureen. You're so kind.
All right. Another video we've got here. Now, this one, again, the same thing with the sound, but you can walk us through. This one is your director, choreographer, reel material for LDC, artist representation. So we can take a look at that, and maybe you can walk us through.
Is it going to be music?
No, not with this one. Yeah. You want to sing or hum?
I'll tell you. We'll go through it. Well, this is I'm fit for Broadway. I am so thrilled that I had the opportunity to work for Cirque du Soleil. Like my dream living in Puerto Rico was to be on Broadway, and I never ever imagined that I would dare dream to be part of Cirque du Soleil. I wanted to see all their shows, and I got so inspired so many times, but to be there and work with them and really be in charge of all the departments that leading a Cirque du Soleil show with obviously the one and only Sergio Trujillo was impeccable. This is Dirty Dancing, the remake, which I got to choreograph with Andy Blackenbuehler, who's the choreographer of Hamilton and In the Heights. He's an incredible mentor to myself. I've been so blessed to have three people to learn from, and they're very different among themselves. Andy Blackenbuehler, Sergio Trujillo, and Jerry Mitchell have given me so much to learn from. And this is my production of Aida that I directed and choreographed. 7 days, we put the show together in 7 days. which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very thrilled to conceptualize it with my, my teammates in the lighting department, Harry Goldman and Kate in the scenic department, and they did a fantastic job. And now this is a version of the Shakespeare Tempest production. I love producing Shakespeare in my own way. I try to make it as diverse and Latino as possible, and give it a scope of nuance in surrealistic and avant-garde theater style. And this is Broadway Bears, one of the biggest organizations that supports the Broadway community, the artistic community, and also a lot of sections of the world, including the LGBTQ plus community, with fundraising millions and millions of dollars for people who suffer of HIV/AIDS. I'm thrilled to be part of the Broadway Cares community, and they are also the parent organization of Revolución Latina. And this is Ella es Colombia, a production that I got to direct and choreograph in Colombia, celebrating the culture and the beautiful art that exists in all elements of arts, music, poetry, visual arts in Colombia. And this is one of my babies, Ragtime. I am so proud to have done this production, especially now when we look at what the world is today and we analyze where we come from and what's happening, as I said before, with Black Lives Matter. Ragtime is a really incredible piece to analyze and study, and I was able to tell it from a very specific point of view. This is my production of In the Heights at Gala Theater in Washington, D.C. This is my production of Fame, the musical. I mean, you're reminding me, you're giving me a tour through my career, and it's interesting to be here and almost not have words to go about it. And I apologize to the audience that I am talking so much, but this is the work.
It's terrific. You're describing to the work, because for some, we have an international audience, and for some of them, they may be discovering this for the very first time. So we always approach it that way, that not everybody is privy to the person we're having as a guest or even knows about some of these things that they're seeing. So for some people, this could be a fresh new experience that's tickling their fancy, which is really fantastic. So describe away proudly. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, also I see the comments, and again, I want to thank everybody watching for listening and taking all this information in. This little Boricua from Puerto Rico sharing his story, and you're here supporting your levity. So I'm very, very grateful. What you just saw was also a Peruvian show that I also got to direct and choreograph called Candela, Fuerza y Pasión. That was a collaboration with Pura Vibra Productions in Peru and Salgado Productions. This is now Zapata, the story of Emiliano Zapata, or what you just saw, the Mexican revolutionary. I was able to choreograph that also for the NIM Festival. And this is, again, some footage from Candela and Moises Kaufman, another Venezuelan director who is doing incredible work here in the States, who I admire and I got the honor to work next to. And I look forward to more opportunities of working with him. Jerry Mitchell, as I mentioned before, one of the people I've been able to learn from, Sergio Trujillo. I call him my father, really, really like my artistic father here in New York. I'm so grateful for Sergio and his example in my life as a Latino artist. When he won the Tony Award last year for Ain't Too Proud, his speech was all about the Dreamers and the fact that he migrated here from Colombia to Canada, from Canada to New York, and here he was holding a Tony Award, and that's so inspiring.
Yeah, isn't it? It really, really is. And you never know who's listening and who's watching and being inspired as well. And our show is really fraught with lots of inspiration and positivity, which is an absolutely beautiful thing. And some of the audience is expressing that. Here is another shot. I love this one. I picked these shots
I love
out.
that shot too.
What's happening here?
That was working on Speed the Plow. Speed the Plow is one of the hardest, 3 people actor plays you can work on. And
Yeah.
I took a very amazing, crazy, weird approach to directing the work of David Mamet. I am a fan of Sandy Meisner's technique and also viewpoints and Suzuki. And before we delve into the deep, complex text of David Mamet, we delve into finding the characters through this tools that I just mentioned, Sandy Meisner, viewpoints, and Suzuki. So the actors had their hands full. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it was an incredible exercise of exploring theater in a different way. And I'm so proud of the show, and I look forward to actually doing it again.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key. You love what you do and do what you love, and the rest sort of sometimes, if you're lucky, takes care of itself. Here's another great shot of levity.
That's my son with the Spider-Man jacket. Hikari, his name is Light Luz. That's my team. You know, I have there right in front to my right is Erin Weinberger, a young discovery that I had. That she's now she was my associate for Matilda, and she's now just turned into my associate for a concert that I'm doing in Sonoma, California. Right behind her in pink, it's Heather Hogan. She's been my right hand for about 13 years now in many different productions. Behind me is Valeria Cosu of Italian descent, but via Spain. She learned Spanish in Spain and has been my associate director in many productions as well. And then standing with the peace fingers is Mariana Herrera, who's a great story in my life. I met that little girl when she was 9 years old and basically adopted her. She's been coming to New York ever since. And when we were doing Matilda and the COVID hit, she was here in New York living with me and my wife. Because at this point, she's just literally like our adopted daughter.
That's so nice. Here's another cool shot.
That is in the process of Matilda. Oh my God, those memories.
Mm.
And our Clifton Shattuck, who is one of my favorite scenic designers. This really cool concept of everything sort of out of the book of Matilda, drawn in pencil, and then we colored it with projections on top. I've been doing a lot of conceptual theater, and I'm excited about doing more of that.
I like this one too.
Yeah, that's Marianita again. Now she's
soaring to new heights. Yeah, huh?
Yeah, we have fun in the process, you know.
That's levity. That's what it's all about.
There to my right, there behind me in black, it's Matt Steffens, who's now one of the artistic directors as well inside Revolución Latina. Mm-hmm. He brings in a nuance of new visions to the organizations that I love. So next to Heather Hogan, Denise Ambert, myself, and our consultant Heather Hathaway, we're basically the team that makes Revolución Latina manifest the work we do, and 14 years of providing free services of arts education, thanks to Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, and individual donors.
Which is a beautiful thing, absolutely beautiful thing. Now we step back a little bit in time.
Oh my gosh! That is Fame on 42nd Street, where I met the great David De Silva, a.k.a. Father Fame, which now we're in talks for the second part of Fame, believe it or not, and I'm on board as a director to that production.
That's fantastic. So that's the then, and this is the now. Bam.
Oh, goodness. the sort of now, because that's me with the longer hair still.
That's with the longer hair, exactly. Yeah. This is levity.
That's my wife in Puerto Rico. That's our happy place right there. That's where we love to be.
Where is that in Puerto Rico? It looks like a beautiful spot.
That's my hometown, Vega Alta, where I was born and raised, and where we just spent this pandemic year.
How is Puerto Rico doing post the hurricanes and earthquakes and the natural things that happened in recent years? They got hit so hard, recently.
Hard. Yeah. So hard. There wasn't only the hurricane, but then there was the earthquakes, and then it was COVID. It's been everything. Then it was the governor who the people had to go out to the streets and get him out of power, and now the same political party is in power again. It's just like one thing after the next. Puerto Rico, pobrecito. But at the same time, our people are strong. Our people have that Taino blood. We stand up and we have pride, and we keep walking forward with our head whole high, but it's been really rough few years. Puerto Rico's doing better in relationship to the Hurricane Maria. It's been a few years, and there was a lot of support, a lot of people that did a lot of great work to support. Luis Miranda, Lin-Manuel Miranda, among them. They donated a lot of funds and did a lot of rescuing in the island. Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, supported Revolución Latina. We put a lot of money as well. We activated artists in different towns that needed to utilize the arts to be able to decompress the mental health of families and kids. In that we celebrated artists, local artists like Trotamundo, which is a beautiful children character, Chicle, um, another group called Y No Había Luz, that is a troupe of theater. It really was a kind of a incredible opportunity to hold hands and do the work we do with all the love possible to support and then uplift the community in Puerto Rico.
And that's beautiful. That's what it's all about. Absolutely. Everybody coming together and rolling up your sleeves, pitching in, and doing what you can. That's what life's all about. And I'm very big with that, like you are as well. Got another great shot here. You know, Luis doesn't know any of these shots. These are surprising to him.
Yeah, totally. This is our
I did some digging.
Yes, you did. This is our family of On Your Feet, the musical on Broadway. Among them, there is Ana Villafañe, who played Gloria, Stefan Brest Sturgis, who, if you see the movie In the Heights, you will see him. That's the gentleman on the right. You will see him dancing in Carnaval del Barrio, and he does such a great job. Again, our beloved Doreen Montalvo. Right in the middle, there's my friend and brother in crime, Marco Santana, another director choreographer from Puerto Rico, and Eric Uyola in the red shirt on the left is now he's a Cuban descent, and he's an upcoming playwright that I'm actually really proud to mention his name, because again, he's opening a lot of doors in the world of playwriting, leading Towers Broadway, and he wrote the script of a show I was able to be an associate director and choreographer for, called Viva Broadway's Hear Our Voices, which happened during COVID time.
Really amazing stuff we're seeing here. I love this one too.
Yeah, that's our cast of Aida. And again, just look around again, the amount of diversity there is, you know, in this picture. People from all over the world, you know. I could go on and on, but I think that's
a good. Yeah, exactly. It's America's right there, exactly, in that photo. Absolutely.
Yeah. That is teaching workshops inside Salgado Productions.
You enjoy doing that, don't you?
Teaching workshops, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I get to exercise my skills, and I get to learn from the students, you know.
What are some of the various courses and workshops that you teach?
I do a lot of musical theater these days, because that's where my biggest passion lies at the moment. So teaching acting the song, for example, is one of my favorite classes to teach. I actually took classes with the great Craig Cornelius, and as a student, as a singer, and I learned so much from his process that some of his tools I readapted into the way that, again, I work with Viewpoint, Suzuki, Meisner. And so acting the song is one of the, I don't do it as often, but when I do it, I love it. And I love it with people that are afraid of singing, because that was my experience. You know, I was very, you know, hesitant with my voice, and Craig always opened me up. And so I do these bizarre physical exercises that help people really find the balance in their voice. And it's not an intellectual experience, but a physical one. So that's one of my favorite things. And I teach, you know, a lot of dance, of course, dance classes. So I do Latin fusion, I do musical theater, I do jazz, whatever is needed, whatever I'm called for. But my passion is right now in storytelling and musicals. So when I get a group of people and have them for like 2 weeks and take them through the channels of physical preparation, mental and emotional preparation, getting them the tools, and then getting at the end of the journey in performing something, that is one of my favorite workshops.
That's fantastic. And that's great. And generally, how often do you do those? And were you doing anything virtually during the pandemic to keep that going?
Yeah, I did a lot of virtual classes. With Salgado Productions, we did a specialized on Fame, the musical project, you know, workshop. And I've been doing, you know, classes all around Argentina, groups in Argentina. Like I just taught last week 150 kids from Argentina.
Wow.
Which was a wonderful class to do. And being able to speak to them in Spanish and talk to them about musical theater in their own language.
Yeah.
You know, given that proximity and that accessibility to a form of theater that is so American. I think it's beautiful when you get to do it in your own language and you really get to grasp why do you dance, why do you sing, you know, those kind of things.
Absolutely. Here you are with one of my friends. She snuggled in between the two of you, the wonderful Lucy Arnez. Tell us about this shot. Great shot.
We were at Studio 54 and she was
Yeah.
having her concert. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't she amazing?
She's amazing.
Funny. Did you see her? We saw her when she was in Pippin. Did you see her when she was in Pippin?
I did.
Yeah. Amazing, huh?
and Diane Paolo's direction was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the acrobatics involved. It was. She's a delight.
And the concept starting with everything and then ending with nothing.
Right.
You know, that's so good. That one you show, that's in Revolución Latina.
Yeah. That's
Jim,
it's a nice one.
When is intermission?
There is none. You have to go to the boys' room.
I do. That is Amigo Duende. The musical is a beautiful play, originally a play by Flavia Lugo that my brother in crime, Joshua Henry, myself got to adapt into
very cool
into a musical with the support of Heather Hogan, who I already mentioned.
This is nice too. This is more recent, huh?
And that was, you know, that I don't remember what year that article was, but definitely was a beautiful moment in time when my wings, as in the picture, were opening, you know, and I was to fly towards everything that I dream of.
Yes,
my Broadway dreams.
And here you are doing your thing on stage there.
Yeah. This kid, oh my God, he's one of the greatest dancers that I've seen in this new generation, and such a disciplined talent. And he was my lead dancer, Michael Deminsky in Telemundo. So yeah, and it's so, you know, look at that picture, look at the focus and the way he's taking in information, and then that kid would go into the stage and make it all his own and make it better than you ever dreamed.
He's being inspired by you, as are they in this one too, huh?
And I am inspired by him, I have to say. That kid really, really is wonderful. And yeah, this is in Colombia. Every time I teach in Colombia, I have everything from 80 to 100 students all at once. How is that?
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
One last one. Look at that. Flying through the air.
Putting some of my Cirque experience into one of my Telemundo projects.
Actually, we have two more quick ones. That's a nice one. We can't not.
That's my family.
We can't not show that one, right?
Yes, that's my family here in New York with a wonderful gay pride flag behind us. You know, today I did an interview for Telemundo, and that's my wife, who I'm so grateful for. It's been 22 years together, and
congratulations.
I don't know how to still stand by my side. But
absolutely,
I did this interview this morning for Telemundo, and I was very proud to be able to be a voice on behalf of the LGBTQ plus community, because the question they were asking was, what are the contributions of the LGBTQ community in the arts? And it's like you can write 20 encyclopedias just on that answer, you know.
I know. Interesting question. Well, what are some of those additional blessings and joys in your life that give you that inspiration to want to continue creating as you do so beautifully, Luis?
The opportunity to tell the stories of the unheard voices, you know, the opportunity to really uplift people that screams after they are no longer with us and they have something to say, and these ideas, you know, hunt in the air, and all of a sudden you get to be touched by one of them and you manifest that and channel that, and it touches the lives of so many people, and you know, it's an idea that was never yours. That inspires me greatly.
What would you say to somebody watching right now who wants to do this kind of thing. They want to get into this world of the arts and entertainment and performance. It's very, it's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and toil and tenacity and resilience. That's all part of it. So if somebody's watching live right now or they watch this later in the archives, what would you say maybe to inspire them if they're even remotely considering it at any age?
I say whatever it is you want to do, whether it is the arts or being a chef or drive a taxi, whatever it is you want to do it fully. Do it fully. Do it with your entire existence. Put your heart and soul into it and don't let anything get in the way. That is what I will say. And I don't say this to sound cliche. It's the only way to do things right. And you can be a driver driving an Uber car today and make 50 people's life better as people are walking into your car. You can be making sandwiches in a bodega. And if you're doing it with your heart, those sandwiches, that coffee you serve will change the people's life daily. You can be cleaning the park in your neighborhood, and that will be your job. And you do that with your love and your passion and your commitment, and you will inspire people. No matter what job you do, no matter what you want to do in life, do it fully. Otherwise, get out of the way. Because if you're doing something just for the sake of doing it, you're miserable and half the world is miserable with you. And I'm sorry if I am being so generic and I'm being kind of totalitarian in that idea. But the world is in trouble because people have dreams and they don't pursue them. And we live in this capitalistic idea, patriarchal status, in which things have to be this way and we have to be doctors and lawyers and all this crap that gets put into our brains, and we accept it as true and we stop following our hearts. And the thing that we did when we were little, and that thing that moved you, when you were playing for hours with your little cars or your little dolls and whatever it was, that kind of passion, that kind of a utopian reality, it's needed in our world. And not only artists should have access to it, the entire world should have access to it. Even if you're doing finances, even if you're doing lawyer, even if you're doing whatever it is, put your heart and soul into it, please, because the world needs you. The world needs you fully, mental health, equipped, loving the shit you do, and doing it well.
That's right. We talk about that all the time here on the show. It's so very, very important to live authentically and share yourself and your talents with the world, and don't let anybody talk you down or talk you out. Absolutely, my friend. Let's toast to a wonderful conversation. And this was really, cheers. This was really fantastic, my friend. And I wish you continued success. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you.
Thank you so much for being so kind, so generous, so lovely. And also for surprising me with all those beautiful videos that take me through the journey of what continues to be a career I'm building. There's people like Kiana Rodriguez watching your show right now, a young, very talented girl who is assisting me in some classes, and she is exactly the reason why shows like this exist. So that message we just share gets hopefully not in her ears but in her heart, and that she knows that the path she's following is worth following, and that no matter what obstacles come our way, the path must continue. And that when she makes it, I look forward to her inspiring more people the way you, Jim, are inspiring people with your show today. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. I said enough. I'm going to log out because I need to use the restroom and because I have a meeting coming in 3 minutes. So it's been a pleasure being with you in the show.
You as well. And hopefully we'll see you in the city soon at an event or one of the shows or something. And we break bread. I look forward to that.
Yes, breaking bread will be lovely.
You take care and you be well. And
one more time, if you allow me, I want to say thank you to June for connecting the two of us.
Absolutely. And take care. Best of everything to your mom and sister watching as well.
Thank you so much. From Puerto Rico, both of them.
Amazing.
And everybody that was watching, if I may, I'm going to put it on the chat. But you can follow me on Instagram at El Salgado Art or Salgado Prods. And I would happy continue the conversation and continue to guide you into the work that we're doing. So
fantastic. And thank you, June, as well. And see you later.
thank you so much, Jim.
Take care. Bye-bye now. All right, Luis Salgado. We appreciate him being with us, and we appreciate you guys being with us as well. I want to let you know that we've got some amazing guests coming up as well tomorrow. We have the extraordinary playwright Bob Ost. He's going to be with us tomorrow. And then we have Michael Shipley, who is a television comedy writer as well as musician. He's going to play live for us on Friday, but he is a comedy writer who has written for the likes of Family Guy, Last Man Standing, which Tim Allen just starred on, and Fox. He's going to tell us some cool stories about that, and a lot of your favorite sitcoms, especially many of the animated ones too. Michael Shipley is going to be with us on Friday, and boy, are we excited. Live from Ireland at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, Daisy Conway is going to be here. She's a brilliant singer and songwriter and musician. She's going to be with us as well, and we're so much looking forward to her being with us as well. On Tuesday, award-winning pop, rock, and Broadway drummer Dina Torriello is going to be with us live. That is coming up this Tuesday, and we can't wait to have her on, and it's going to be amazing. Just some of the, we booked another, I think like 6 or 7 more guests just today have asked to be on the show, and they're coming on the show in June and July. We're actually booking the third week of July already. June is pretty much, I think the whole month of June is already taken. Just amazing, just absolutely amazing. We thank very much Luis Salgado for joining us again as my very special guest here on the Jim Masters Show Live, and hopefully you got a chance to learn a little bit about him and his passions and enthusiasm and his craft. And that's what we do here on the show. We like to spend some time and share the levity together, and you learn a little bit more about me and the guests, and oftentimes you learn a little bit more about yourself as well. This was a pleasure, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on the show. As always, we always do say, don't forget to smile. That is very, very important. We always say, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the levity. Find your Zen place, whether it's the mountains, the oceans, or just even your recliner in your living room. Whatever your Zen place is, love it. Mine is, of course, with family and friends. That is number one. And then everything else follows after that. My work in television and radio and stage throughout the years, on camera, on air, behind the scenes, also is another Zen place for me. I love the work that I do, and hopefully it shows. And cool stuff. So you can find the Jim Masters Show live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on our YouTube channel. And we invite you and welcome you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our amazing episodes of JMS Live and other special surprises we do on that channel. And a couple more things here. If you missed any of the episodes, you can see them all 24/7, 365 on our YouTube channel. So check that out. That is there for your pleasure as well. Over 400 episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live is there for all of you. And we thank you for all of the incredible comments and the levity and all of the private messages and the tagging. And thank you, everybody. Another great episode here. Thank you very much. You are the master conversationalist. Thank you very much, Maureen. I appreciate that. Wonderful show tonight, Jim. My pleasure. Mary says, that was such a fun episode. Thank you very much. Mary in Florida, you have a good night. Thank you, Jim. Luis, yes, absolutely. Entertaining evening. Good night, all. You're very welcome. These are our loveties who watch all the time. Couch Pillow Blanket Zen is Jen is Zen in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Juanita, great show, Jim. More amazing guests coming up. Absolutely every day here on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. Good night, everyone. You as well. And you. And Jane, who's watching in lovely Sweden, one of our recent newest loveties. Thank you, Jane. Good night, Jim, and all the loveties. We thank you. And Jen, you as well. and everybody that is watching all around the world, and all of those who are going to be watching this later. I know we salute those who are watching live, and we love everybody watching live, but we also thank you very much for watching here on the show in the archives too. You're watching this maybe a week later or 6 months from now or 5 years from now. We hope you enjoyed this episode and all the episodes. We thank Louis very, very much. It was a fantastic conversation, and he's waving. You want to do the wave? There you go.
Yeah, thank you everybody so much. It's such a pleasure. I really needed to just run to the restroom.
That's it. You did it.
I've been having terrible sinuses, so I put the air conditioning to avoid having the wind coming
And you're
directly
drinking
at
a lot
me.
of water too.
And now I'm like, I was so cold. Anyway, I love you. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you so much
Pleasure.
for this wonderful interview, Jim. You're amazing, and I look forward. Maybe in the future we get to do it again.
Yes, absolutely. And hopefully we'll gather maybe with June and all, and we'll catch you in the city. That would be a pleasure, my friend. Let's stay in touch, okay?
Let's do it. All right. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
You too. Good night. Thank you, gang. We love all of you. And thanks for watching the Jim Masters Show live, where we always have light, love, and levity and a good time all the time. Bob Ost, here he is. He's here tomorrow. And again, as I mentioned, Michael Shipley is going to be here, television, sitcom, comedy writer, and musician. That's Friday. And then Saturday, Daisy Conway is going to be here. Special time, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on Saturday. And then we're going to be off for the Memorial Day weekend with our family and friends. And we can't wait. Off, away, gone, vacation from life. It's going to be nice. We haven't seen, a lot of family in a while, so we're all getting together over the holiday weekend. Yes, we are bringing back the lost art of conversation in such a beautiful way, and we thank you. You. You can really see the hair. I know. Funny how we had that hair conversation at the beginning, huh? He and I were actually chatting about it before we even went live on the air. Oh, thank you very much, Kathy. You love it this way. I tell you, it is tough. As soon as I take this hat off, it is very, very long. Yes, June, absolutely. We have lots of dinners backed up, don't we? Gang, you're the best. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love that. That really helps the channel. We will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And hey, Jim, made the end. Game rained out. See you tomorrow night. Hope you had a good day. And of course, you can see this in the archives. Yeah, it's not raining here, but you guys got heavy rain and lightning. I think Louis was saying that where he was looking out the window there in New York City, there was lightning and rain. It was like, the sky's broken. Keep the hair the way it is. It's very long. Look, we don't need the hat anymore, right? We don't need the headphones anymore. Look how long it is now. Wow. I look like Jesus. And yes, it's quite long, quite full and quite long. This has been cool. This has been fun. I've never grown it like this in my life ever. Maryland, it's raining as well. And thank you. We'll probably do some things with it, but it's, you know what it is when you come out of the shower and you condition it. Here we are talking about hair again. See what you started? If it's not hair, it's kids and food and pets. When you come out of the shower, those of you with the longer hair, it gets full as opposed to being more like, I've never touched my hair this much until now. I've never touched my hair like this, but this is what it is. It's there and it's long. And it's full and it's there. So it's kind of cool. Some have no hair. So I'm very happy to have hair and plenty of it. And maybe we'll donate some of it as well, which is a beautiful thing to do, right? When you donate some of the hair. But there we are. And I know some of my own family have seen it this long through watching this show, but they haven't seen me in person with it this long. And it's kind of cool. Louis had his long. He just got it cut shorter for projects he has to do. And there we go. There it is, long. Open up the window and it goes right across. Thank you very much, Jane in lovely Sweden. I appreciate that. It's a bear. It's a bear sometimes when you're trying to eat. It starts coming in like that. And look at it. Now I look like I'm starring in a show, right, on Broadway. The Revival of Jesus Christ Superstar with James Masters. There we go. I should do a whole episode and we just talk about hair, huh? This took 1 year exactly to grow this long. Whew. Wow. It's amazing. Let's see. Jen says about 5 more inches as long as yours. Yeah, you have a lot of hair as well. Quite a bit yourself, Jen, is Zen there in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You can't live without you're in South Africa, humidity. We're just getting into the humidity now here in the Northeastern United States. Very poofy hair otherwise. It gets poofy right after you come out of the shower. It gets sort of poofy. Whew. I look like I should be in a rock band, right? Bow, 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 bow. Grab the guitar and start plucking away. All right, gang. Maybe tomorrow my hair will be different. Every day the hair is different. That's the spice of life. That's the variety of life. You guys take care. And Gabriella's hair is down to her middle. We'll be donating it soon. That's a beautiful thing to do. Well, whether you have long hair, short hair, no hair, you're all welcome to join us on the Jim Masters Show live, gang. We love you all. You guys take care and be well. And thanks for joining us. Spread the word about our show. Spread the levity. Tell everybody about the show. We're working hard behind the scenes here. Thank you, Kathleen. Kathleen, you've never seen this hair this long, right? The last time you and I saw each other, it was a lot shorter. And wild levities to you, Maureen, as well. Last time you saw this in person when I think we were at an event, maybe it was when we were at Rachel Ray's TV show or Carnegie Hall or Citi Field or wherever we were in New York. You've never seen it this long, Kathleen. That's quite a shock, isn't it? All right, gang. Our goodbyes are long, but we're going to wrap now because we have a lot we got to do. All right. We love you all. Take care. And thanks for joining us in this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you tomorrow if you're here. If not, Memorial Day weekend's coming and a big weekend is in store. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.